students' lives.
My sisters did everything right. They went out in the buddy system. They went out together. They Ubered out. They stopped and got food. They Ubered home. They let their dog out to go potty, and then they locked their house up. Stopped and got food. They Ubered home. They let their dog out to go potty. And
welcome back to my Psychology and Crime channel, Psychology and Crime Reaction channel. This is for fair use purpose. This is the case of the Idaho quadruple murders. Today I'd like to discuss about Kaylees' sister, may she rest in peace, Olivia, and I would like to discuss about the Uber driver, private share driver who drove the girls home.
Kaylees' family reported that their daughter had indeed ordered an Uber, and now the man who drove them is revealing exclusive details to us about that ride home and what the girls said in the back of that car. News Nation correspondent Alex Capriello is live tonight. He tracked him down. He joins me from outside the home in Moscow. That was a very difficult task. Tell me what you found out, Alex.
Yeah, I was able to find this rideshare driver. He's one of only about 4 here in the Moscow area. So I was able to track down that phone number and give him a call personally, speak to him. I asked him point blank, hey, are you the guy who drove Kaylee and Maddie home that night? And to his credit, he was very transparent, very honest, very open, almost immediately with me. Well, he said that it was actually a rather innocent conversation from the beginning. You might remember that he picked up these 2 girls from that Grub truck. It's the food truck that's located right in downtown Moscow. And really, he said that was the center of their conversation. The entire 5-minute ride home was about their mac and cheese carbonara that they were planning on splitting when they got back to the house. He said that he's picked them up in the past, not only these 2 girls, but Xana as well. And he said that in the past they've talked about boys and drama and college life, but not this time around. It was just a very normal, innocent conversation about their food and how they were going to share it when they got home. So obviously, as one of only about 4 rideshare drivers in this area, he picks up these girls a lot. And not to mention, we already know that this is so close to frat row, and of course we've reported that this is a party house, so a lot of times students would come here. And so he said that Xana, that Kaylee and Maddie were no strangers to them. He's given them rides home from the bars, home from work, home from school, so he knows them. He has driven them before, but back again to this, he said that there was nothing out of the ordinary that night, that right now, or in that moment, that it was just an innocent conversation. Of course, the frats were bumping on a Saturday night, but here at the house, it was quiet, and he saw nothing out of the...
Welcome back to my Psychology and Crime channel, Reaction channel, actually, more like. I'd like to start by thanking all my subscribers from both my channels. Like I said, I'll be doing more of my uploadings in this channel, Psychology and Crime. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Today, I'd like to start by thanking all my subscribers, my viewers, for your pleasant, kind, intelligent, interesting comments. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all. At times we agree to disagree, but we do it in a professional and nice manner. I've noticed all of us have the passion to get the correct justice for these 4 victims, which they really do deserve. So today I'd like to talk about 2 topics. The first one is Kaylees' sister, Olivia. We clearly heard her saying that my sisters did everything right. That's Maddie and Kaylee, obviously, made the recipes. She said that they drove home with a private share driver. They took their dog out to POTTY, that's Murphy, and they locked the door behind them. That's one topic. The second topic that I'd like to address is the Uber driver. But let's start with Kaylees' sister. This has always caught my attention. it seems from the start that Kaylee's sister knows a lot about this case, more than us. And obviously, I believe it's not only because she's the sister. I really respect Alivira because she went and found things by herself more than the police. She was the one who informed the police that there's the Grub truck video. She's the one who went to the neighbors who lived next door to 1122 Kings Road. I know the names, but I would prefer not to mention the names. These are all innocent victims, so we shouldn't, because they're victims too. They were the neighbors, so I don't want to put them into jeopardy. But if you'll remember in the beginning, Kaylee's sister Olivia said that she clearly went to the neighbors and she saw their, their door camera. So I'm sure I would assume that's how she found out that Kaylee and Maddie let Murphy, the dog, Kaylee's dog, out to potty, and they locked their doors. I find that to be very interesting. I wonder how much of the footage Kaylee's sister saw before it was handed over to the detectives the next day. The second one would be obviously about the Uber driver. But now let's start with the first one. For Olivia to know so much, she must have seen a lot of the footage of what happened that night. And I find that to be very interesting from the very beginning. I wonder if she saw, obviously, she wouldn't just be saying, she must have seen the girls taking the dog to potty. Now, what I'm interested in is where did they take the dog out to potty? Because if you'll remember, I can't remember his name properly. Was it Regan? The guy who was Jeremy Regan, who was the neighbor, the guy with the orangish, brownish hair, the poor young man who got accused of this crime, and everyone was giving him a lot of pressure in the beginning until he did a couple of interviews. My question is, did they take the dog out to potty behind the house since it was a cold night, or did they actually go down to Taylor's Avenue? The reason I say that is because Jeremy himself said that he has a dog, and he said that the dog workers usually take the dog out for a walk around those areas. That's Taylor Avenue. So the reason I would love to find that out. Obviously, you're not going to find out anything because of the gag order, but I think that is really important because it could make sense. Just say that they took the dog out to potty when they got home. They got home around 1:56. The Banfield body alcohol stop did not happen until 2:54 or 2:52. So I'm talking about between 2 to 2:50. What could have happened? Did the girls take Murphy out to potty over there? Could they have been assaulted or attacked? Trigger warning over there. Because we saw a coat that looked like Maddie's coat in the bushes at Taylor Avenue. So I find that to be really interesting. Let's not forget, we have Adam L. and Jack D, who know the dog Murphy really well, because Jack D shares the dog he shares Murphy with Kaylee. That is one. Adam is his roommate. We've seen that TikTok clip of Adam playing around with Murphy and Murphy running around the house. So that shows clearly that he babysits Murphy too. Then we have every other person who's visited the house most likely knows Murphy, because Murphy would spend time at Kaylee's house. So I find that to be interesting. Could someone have got the girls there? Maybe dragged them home? The reason I say that is because why would Maddie's coat be lying there? That is number one. I think that's really important. So my concern has always been, did something happen when the girls let Murphy out to party? Now we come to the second part that I think is really important too. The Uber ride, the Uber driver, private share driver, whatever they call him, I find it interesting that he knows Maddie, Kaylees, Zana. Now those are 3 of the 4 victims. Kaylee called him or texted him and asked for the ride, according to alibis. What I noticed is, if you remember the Grub truck, you see a lot of Kaylee on her phone. Texting messages, receiving messages. I found that to be very interesting. So I wonder if she was chatting with a friend, maybe a new boyfriend. The reason I say that is I know she wasn't talking to her parents. Her parents said the last time they heard from her was on Saturday, the night that this is going to happen, during the day. She just texted her mother and they texted each other back. Or maybe they even spoke, but that was earlier during the day. So I'm really interested in finding out what happened at the Grub truck. Was Kaylee actually texting the driver? And that wouldn't take so long to text the driver. Even no matter how well you know him, you'd be like, I'm at the Grub truck, come and pick me and Maddie up. We need to go, we need a ride home. So I wonder, who was Kaylee so occupied with on the phone? We know that she and Jack D split up a couple of weeks before that, but we know that Jack D was at the corner club. We saw even the picture of him sitting on the bar stool and the 2 girls standing in front of him. We had Adam L there, we had Jack S there. That way, I believe whatever happened in the corner club, I've always said that, was part of whatever happened. It just continued to the Grub truck. It must have continued to not only the Grub truck, to the house and Banfield, maybe. It's possible. Now the Uber share driver came and picked them up. I remember Jovito saying that he thought he saw a blue car. But then he said again that when it comes to the Uber driver, he said that he thought the car was blue. I remember another time on TikTok when he was doing an interview or giving out he uploaded an interview, he said something about, I didn't say it was blue. It was just that the reporter kept on bothering me about what color was the car, so he said blue. Another thing that is really in my interest, or in my focus from the beginning, is when the girls literally leave Jack S. I don't think he was escorting them, because they wouldn't have dumped him where they dumped him, basically. They just left him. He didn't even realize that they left till Jovito told him, yo, the girls are gone. I wonder why Jovito would actually say that. I think maybe this is, in my opinion, I believe that Jovito was part of the plan, maybe to look after the girls. These people were spying on the girls. I showed you all 2 days ago about when Jack Showalter is standing next to the young man and woman. The woman has on a hoodie jacket and the man has on a cap, a grey cap. They're standing in front of him, he's standing behind, and then the guy with the black tracksuit who looks Greek, Mexican, maybe mixed race, walks in. The guy was a bit chubbier, short. When he walks in, you can see that they start texting each other, all of them. Besides the girl in the hoodie, but she was paying attention to the guy she was with. Phones were just, they're lighting up, basically. One texts, you can see the other looks at the message, then the other texts. Something was really going on there. Now, what is in my interest in the Grub truck is we saw clearly when Jack Showalter found out that the girls actually left without him. We saw that there was a car waiting on the other side. And as soon as the girls left, we saw Jack Showalter walking towards that car. And that car's light was blinking from the start. I assumed he jumped into the car because the car immediately left. And if you pay attention, and I've shown you many times, that was a red Mustang. It looked like a red Mustang. Now, strangely enough, a red Mustang was found at St. Deacon's Road, and we saw the forensics team inside and outside the car. Although the police debunked it, what I've noticed is whatever is being debunked should be put out on the open again. Just because the police debunk it, I'm not satisfied to take that as the Holy Bible. No, I refuse that. The reason I say that is because many things that were debunked are very fishy. And now that the case is progressing into 1.5 years, we can see that actually things that were debunked are making more sense. Another one I'd like to talk about is that was debunked is that the girls were gagged. The victims were gagged. The reason I believe that they were possibly gagged, although the police debunked it, is because of the pictures that Saeed is watching at the bandfield. You can clearly see no one, it's not that nobody, you can clearly see that 3 people look like they're sitting on the floor and one person is standing on top, like standing in front of them, and he's pointing something out to one of their heads or necks. The girls look like the girls and maybe E. It looks like 3 to 4 people. They look like they have their hands behind their back. That's in my opinion. I find that to be very interesting too. So I don't know about the girls being gagged or not, tied up or not. I possibly believe that they were tied up. What I believe happened over here is literally a terrible incident, not because of the way they were only unalived, but I believe that these people had time on their hands. I don't know how much of the Linda Lane footages are true or not, but I believe that there is something to the Linda Lane. I also believe, I've always said that Taylor Avenue is my focus. It's always been my focus. People who've been paying attention to my other channel, Hoodoo London Mental Health and Crime, if you go way back to the beginning from March last year, I was the one who was always focused on Banfield and Taylor Avenue, and there's a proper reason for that. Because what I usually do is I put my focus on body cams that are out there. I don't touch much on Linda Lane because Linda Lane is something that was leaked out, so we don't know yet if it's false or true. Although I've seen many things that seem that is true or could fit into the timeline, and we have Tommy Jude and his channel working on that, and I think he does a beautiful job with that. There are better ways, and True Killer Crime, I think her name is. Shout out to both of them. They're doing really well in the Linda Lane footage. So people are different. Some people just like following the book, like following the affidavit that they've been given, which is completely right. That is the right way to go about things. But you have to have an open mind in these cases, because once a case is being jeopardized from the beginning, what do I mean by jeopardized? Let me try and explain it in a better way. We saw the forensics going inside the house without the forensic kit the first day. When they noticed that people were making a fuss out of it on social media, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it was, Facebook, immediately they started wearing the forensic equipment. The crime scene was so unprofessionally handled that after 5 to 6 days, you could see on Fox News when the elderly black man was talking. When I say black, I really don't mean any discrimination by it. I'm a colored woman myself, I'm a black woman. So when I'm saying that, I'm just trying to help you all to remember who I'm talking about. The man who was working for Fox News, not the younger man who was taking the interview with Kaylees' parents, not that guy. I mean the elderly man who was standing at Queen's parking place. You saw that he was telling Fox News that this was a really red liquid scene. I don't like to use the word BLODDY. Don't want to get striked. Having too many issues with them already. So basically, when he's talking about that, he said this scene was so gruesome that there was red liquid everywhere. There's another report in ABC News that's on my channel that the female reporter says that to the anchor, she said that it was so gruesome, the scene, that there was so much red liquid around that's how the police found out that it was targeted. Now, I find that to be very interesting. I wonder if somebody wrote the name on the walls, if somebody wrote something nasty on the walls. It is something to think of. Because for them to find out that it was targeted, that's what NBC News, I apologize, said. She said that she spoke to the Moscow police detectives or Moscow police department, and that is what they told her. They knew it was targeted because of the red liquid scene. So I wonder if they left something behind, besides the knife sheet, because that we don't even know if it was Brian Christopher Kohlberger's knife sheet, allegedly, or if it was planted, if he was being framed. I'm not saying that is the case, but anything is possible in this case. Then we have the fact that the Moscow police department said at the start that this was a targeted attack. That one of the victims, or maybe two, or maybe more of them, were the targets. But then we had the prosecutor, Bill Thompson clearly said that in the beginning that they believe that the residence was the target. Now, I find that to be interesting. Why would they believe that the residence is a target? Was there something in the house that wasn't supposed to be? Was someone selling in this house? Was someone doing something dodgy in this house? Did the girls get caught up in something major like WSU Kim was saying? Because that was the rumor that was going around the college. This was a party house, more like a party venue. Many people had the front door keys. Let's not forget that code, sorry. My interest has always been, why did Xana ask her father to come and fix her locks? Then we have Kaylee, who was studying from home for a month before she came to show her new car to her friends. Kaylee attended, I think, the Alpha Phi or some kind of sorority party. I wonder if there was some misunderstanding there with the girls, if there was arguments, if there were fights. You can imagine people are pouring liquor, such things. Things can get out of hand. Did something happen there that led to the corner club next day? And by leading to the corner club, I mean by what did you tell Adam when Kaylee tells Maddie? Adam knows a lot because something was told to Adam, and he is the only person he would know. Obviously, if he was involved, he's going to make it look like something innocent. But I personally believe that there was something told to Adam, because when you put two and two together, the good thing about human beings, and maybe I'm being a bit partial because I'm a licensed mental health counselor, I love how the brain works. I really love how God blesses us with our thinking. It's not like there are things that you can say allegedly, or that this is a speculation. But this is not a speculation. 2 plus 2 is 4. Simple. It can't be 2 plus 2 can't be 5 or 3. It is 4. So let's put things together. Maddie, what did you tell Adam? Right before that, Jack Showalter said, you know they're going to get you for that, Maddie. What did he mean? Very important question. You know what he said, you know they're going to get you for that, Maddie. Get you for that, Maddie. And a couple of hours later, they actually got Maddie, Kaylee and the couple. Something was going on. Something was said that shouldn't have been said to Adam. Adam must have told whoever this had to do with. Because, go back to what I said in the Grub truck, as soon as it looked like people were already staged at the Grub truck, if you ask me. This is in my opinion. You had David L. and his two friends standing with their hands in their pocket. It looked like they were waiting for the girls to enter. As soon as the girls entered, you could see all of them turning their backs to the wall. Very important. Then Shawalter Hoodie Guy, aka Hoodie Guy, walks in. He pretends to be normal. He takes off his cap, plays with his hair a bit, or like, you know, when you're just putting your hair behind or playing with your hair. And then he turns to David L. and they both nod their heads. Something was going on from the start. The Grub truck and the Banfield are two clips that you find mostly in my channel. I think that's why I got striked, to be honest. But besides that, those are important things. Look at Banfield, what is going on there too. They're playing with their phones right in front of the police. Never seen such unprofessional undercover cops or cops in general. Cops usually tell you to take your hands out of your pocket. That's a common sense. They weren't told. The police told them, Moscow police, stop, come back here. They didn't come back, those three boys. I think Saeed came as a distraction. Saeed came so that he could give the boys maybe a chance to throw whatever they're throwing. I really believe those boys threw something at the Banfield. Because once cops tell you to come back, you would have come back. They weren't that intoxicated for them to be getting penalties. Something was going on. You see the 4 figures, 5 figures running, one looked like a female with long hair. I've said that always. I've said that for 10 months ago, up to today. I've heard some people saying it's 2 females. It's not 2 females. It's a female and 3 guys. It's 4 people. It always looks like it's 4 to 5, but I really believe it's 4. They were going towards Sigma Chi. That was at 316. Pay attention to what was happening from 2:54 to 3:16. It's very important. Just say up to 3:20. You hear a female yelling, stop it, stop. That was at 2:56. But at 2:54 was when Maddie and Kaylee made the last call from Maddie's phone to Jack D. I personally believe Jack D could have been involved allegedly, and he could have called from his phone to the girl's phone so that he could get himself an alibi. Let's not forget, Jack D was the last person to be ruled out. Always pay attention to that. The first person to be ruled out was aka Hoodie Guy. Last person to be ruled out was Jack D. The first and the last person doesn't sit right to me. Neither does Hunter Johnson. He was the one that they called for the 911 call. He could be totally innocent, but there's something there too. Why would you call him 8 hours after this quadruple and you wouldn't even call 911? Doesn't make sense. I really believe his mother, when she said 2 a.m. is the hardest time for a family. What happened at 2 a.m.? I believe that the couple were deleted at 2 a.m. That's the only right term I can use. I'm really sorry if it sounds offensive, but it's better to say deleted than unalived at times. Something happened to the couple between 2 to 2:20. I showed you the last clip of mine on Hoodie London mental health and crime. That's gone up to 11K. I'm quite impressed. Thank you, guys. Pay attention to the poster, what it states. This mother called the FBI because her son got a text from E, and the text said, I'm at the Sigma Chi party. So how can the police say at 1:45 the couple was at home? I don't believe that. I don't buy that. This mother of her son and E are very good friends, so he has to be part of the fraternities. This mother was very frustrated because she said she tried to clear that up. She tried calling the FBI and the police, and she said the timeline was never changed. The timeline of E and Zana is crucial, very crucial. Once you start messing around with the timeline, everything can be spinned to the narrative they want it to be. That's my personal opinion. As for Brian Christopher Kohlberger, I need to make myself clear, guys. And I've been doing that in a lot of clips. I'm not a person who's saying that he wasn't involved. And I'm not a person who's saying he was involved. I'm at the fence here. This is a gray line. This ain't black, this ain't white. This is completely gray. Because I don't believe the FBI could have changed or lied about the timelines. They have a reason for them to say that that car was seen in the area. I personally believe there's 2 cars were seen in the area. 2 white Hyundais, I won't be surprised even. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, why was Brian Christopher Kohlberger there? Was he called by the surviving roommates? Let's not forget his profession is he was studying forensics. He applied for a job with the Moscow Police Department for forensics. People say he could be framed to there. Could be possible, but I don't see him being framed by there. I see him getting himself involved somehow or the other. Because let's be clear, if Brian Christopher Kohlberger was innocent like he says, I know it's not compulsory for him to give an alibi, they gave him a deadline, but I personally believe that Ann Taylor wanted to see what they have on him. So they were slowly giving their alibi. How much of that alibi is true or false? We'll have to wait till the trial to find out. But to start with, why Park was closed. So when Brian Christopher Kohlberger was saying he drove to the park, I wonder, they didn't make themselves clear. Was he just driving around the park, or was he actually inside the park? That's important to know because it was closed. Star glazing is something that the media has been saying. We don't know if that was said in the alibi, but that one he would fail because it was a very cloudy night. There was no stars to be seen there. What makes me believe that Brian Christopher Kohlberger is involved somehow or other? Maybe he's not even involved. Maybe he made a plan out for the fraternities to do it. The reason I say that is, why would he want to be in prison, for a year and a half? Your life is on the line. You're on the death penalty. But he still doesn't mind wearing suits coming to court. If he was innocent, I don't think this trial would be going so far. He could be a genius trying to outbeat the system, definitely, or he could have got into some kind of entanglement in this case. He could have got himself involved in this case. Maybe some of the frat guys asked him to help them, and maybe they framed him. Another important thing is, how did his DNA get into the button of the knife sheet, the inside button of the knife sheet? Now that is a very, very distinctive place to get your DNA at. That means he opened the button, he closed the button. Or whoever planted his DNA, just say, in case, thought of a very good spot to plant it in. That's possible, but I don't think it's that much possible. I believe that there's something up with Brian Christopher Kohlberger, but I don't know what. I can't get my eyes on it. I can't get my eyes off him that he could be involved. Shout out to Denise Paris. She's a very good friend of mine, I would say. We talk behind the scenes. We discussed this case a lot for these last couple of months. And we both came to that same. She's a genius in such things, doing her research behind the scene and all. And we both, when we discuss it, we come to that point that BK had to be involved somehow or the other. We could be totally wrong, but I do believe he was involved somehow or the other. So coming back to, I like to end it with the Uber private driver. He said that the girls wasn't talking about anything. They were just normal talking about how they're going to share their food home. I doubt that, because we heard Kaylee clearly saying to Maddie, what did you tell Adam? She sounded very upset. She sounded very angry when she said that. We even heard Shawalter saying, they're going to get you for that, Maddie. That's when Kaylee said, Maddie, what did he say to Adam? So if the girls were already stressed about that, they got their food in 10 minutes and they left without Jack Shawalter. So that should ring alarm bells. Not only of what the threat he passed, that they're going to get you for that, Maddie, and the 3 victims were found unalive. That is number 1, a red flag. Number 2 is that they left him. I don't understand how people could say, oh, he was just there to help. He wasn't there to help. They ran away from him. We are not children. We are adults here. It doesn't take a genius to understand that something was going on with Shawalter. Another thing with Shawalter that is really odd for me is that he was the only one who drove out to the town that we know of. He drove to his parents' cabin, so I heard that the police did an integration with him over the phone. That makes sense, because they wouldn't drive 6 to 7 hours there unless they send the cops from Boise to talk to him. But then he has parents who are very highly up influenced. He has brothers that are doctors, father that's doctor. They have a cabin. We know that he has taken pictures with K-bar knives. Quite interesting. So nobody's seen Shawalter besides that he drove there, the way I believe. I showed you in my last clips the injuries on Jack D's hands. And that picture with the yellow hoodie, orange hoodie, and the black jacket, and his fingers are badly damaged, injured, is from his own TikTok. So it's not like I can go and make up such things. The injuries on his face was clear to see. Some people are saying he was crying, that's why his face was swollen. No. He looked like he had a missing tooth for me. I could be wrong about the tooth, but his hands were very swollen. His hands were very injured. His face was very swollen. And I can back it up by saying Kaylee's brother and father never trusted Jack D from the beginning. We saw the look that the father gave Jack D on the stage. That is a red flag. So going back to this, driver. I don't think the girls are having an innocent talk about their food, how they're going to share it, which half is Maddie going to get, which half is Kaylee going to get. I doubt that. It was bigger than that. He could be threatened himself by whoever did this, could have told him, keep your mouth shut. Quite interestingly, there's only 4 Uber drivers. He's one of them. So he knows half of the students. Then we have Chief Fry. Chief Fry was the head of the police in the university itself. They have a police branch there. Before he became the chief of the police. He knows Dean Eccles well, and he knows the professors well, he knows the students well. Could be something, could be nothing, but I find that to be a bit interesting. Now the question is, where did the driver who brought the girls from the Grub truck back home, where did he drop them? Last point I found really, really interesting is the driver said that the place was very quiet. Kings Road and all was very quiet, but he said that the Sigma Chi boys were partying. The fraternities were bumping. You heard the word clearly. When they were bumping and having a party and all, a fight, we heard allegedly broke out. if the fight broke out, that could explain E and Xana's whereabouts. So I don't understand why the police are saying that they came home at 1:45 when the mother of E's friend said that he texted me. She said that he texted me. Her son texted her and said E texted him at 10 past, 2:15, and he was at the Sigma Chi. Let's not forget, E's mother said 2 a.m. is the hardest time for our family, for us all. The coroner herself said that she pronounced the deaths after 2 a.m. If it was 4 a.m. or closer to 4:30, she would have said that. That's what I believe. And I've always said I find it very interesting that all 4 students were criminated. What did these, I don't want to say any bad language, what did these people, these monsters do with these 4 victims? To have so much hate, rage, anger, it could be about jealousy, it could be a crime of passion, or it could be about money, definitely. Let's see how far this case goes. I won't be surprised if BK is exonerated like he said. Maybe because he's innocent, or maybe because he's a genius trying to get away with the crime. No matter what it is, I really feel sorry for these 4 victims and their parents. Condolence to their parents. May the correct justice be served. I don't know why all these people were ruled out. When we have Saeed, I've exposed that from the beginning. Now remember, you saw to my channel first. Saeed watching those pictures. I showed you Jovito, what he was watching at the Grub truck. I showed you the crowd yelling, Xana, Xana. All of them can't be coincidence. Was there a fight club? Were these 4 victims brutally unalived outside the house and taken inside? We would never know. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll be posting a lot of my content from now onwards in psychology and crime reactions. Huda London Mental Health and Crime is going to take a break for a while till I sort out that channel. This is going to be my channel. Please share, like, and subscribe. There are many of my subscribers